Hi, welcome back to the Sacred Secret Society. My name is Lorraine, and a lot of times people have a hard time remembering exactly how to pronounce that, so you can remember Queen Lorraine. I like to wear my tinfoil tiara these days, and really basically since 2020, and I had my second beautiful daughter. But I have learned a lot about life in the past, I don't know, 10 years since I've really started waking up to the realities of my life and the life basically that we're living here. It's basically one nation under Freemasonry, if you didn't know. Um, and we'll talk more about that as this channel grows, as I make more videos and start to feel better finally. So today we're going to talk about shame and how to heal that. There are a lot of tools out there. Brene Brown is a good author with some good books, and really we need to stop the shame transfer that's happening, because that's where these people are getting their power. They're taking your power from you in the shape of shame. Okay, so shame is the lowest frequency that's out there. It is the bottom of the barrel. So it is where you're going to find those negative thoughts and the bad feelings, and that's where they really get you when you're down in the dumps and really pull you down in there. And where I have lived most of my life with depression, and it's not fun and it's hard to dig yourself out of that, but you can do it. You just have to talk yourself out of it and remember that you are stronger than you think, stronger than you believe, but you have to start somewhere. So just start by every day looking at yourself in the mirror and just saying, it is my joy and pleasure to live another long lasting, wonderful day. And the more you say that to yourself, the more you'll believe it or start to believe it. And that's when things really can start changing. But so that shame is that lower frequency. And when you start thinking more positive, you're going to move that frequency up. The Healing the Shame That Binds You by John Bradshaw is a good book that you could look into. Again, Brene Brown has some great info to look up. The shame spiral is so hard sometimes to get out of when you've spiraled down there and thought all those negative thoughts. Okay, think about your children. Would you ever want to tell your children those things, or your best friend? You want to lift your people in your life up. So why are we not doing that for ourselves first and foremost? I can tell you why. It's because of the secret societies that have ruled over us for so long. One of them that I mentioned earlier, but there's a lot of them, y'all. There's a lot. And it's pretty nefarious once you really start getting into it. So we need to tear it apart, look at it, shine a flashlight on it, change it. So another good book is The Map of Consciousness, explained by David Hawkins. For specifically for SA, if that has ever happened to you, I'm so sorry. You did not deserve that, and it is not your fault. It is never your fault when somebody else comes to you and attacks you and abuses you. That is how this shame transfer is happening. They feel bad, so they're going to say that you're the one who should feel bad so that they don't have to feel bad anymore. And it's the masterful manipulator who feeds off of other people that like to do this. And it's just so gross. I literally have to tell myself a lot. Like, that is not mine to hold. It is not my shame. You can have it back. Okay. And not as much anymore, but just unpacking things, you know. The Secret Survivors by Sue Bloom is a good book, specifically for people who have been through the SA part. So they place their shame into the victims, and the cycle repeats through generations. It is ritual abuse. Okay, most of the time when this happens, it comes from generational. It comes from somebody in the family. It is most of the time when somebody is hurt, it is by somebody that they know intimately. So we were always kind of told, like, don't get in the truck with the ice cream man, you know, if he promises to have candy for you when we were a kid, you know, that's what we would always hear. We wouldn't hear about our family being the predators, and not all families are. And of course, even if there are issues in a family, doesn't mean that everybody should be blamed for that. Or like, we'll just use a really big name right now that's out there, the Roth, and then, with the child, that word, or the rocks, with the fellers over there. Like, they have some things going on that are dirty, gross, underneath, behind the scenes, that they don't want people to look at. But once you start peeling back the onions and peeling back the layers of who these people are, and once you start seeing it, you can start unpacking and not holding that shame for them anymore. Okay? Because they have completely bastardized everything in our world. And we are living in upside down land right now. So with the ritual abuse, the shame starts young. When you're young, you're, made to feel like it's your fault. I was told, like, if I showed my shoulders, I might give the boys the wrong idea. That if it's better to come home, it's better to fight to the death, basically, than to come home unclean. So if I was to go have a heady petting moment with my boyfriend as a teenager, that would be the sin next to murder. And that is shame. That is the church, the institution, telling you that you should be ashamed for a natural, God-given body that has hormones. Like, that was one of the biggest things for me. Like, why is God giving me these feelings if he didn't want me to have them? It didn't make any sense. Because it was always about the guy. Like, make sure you're not tempting him. Make sure that you're keeping chaste for him. It's always put on the woman. Always. You got to protect that patriarchy. But shame does prevent people to do things. It gives you a horrible feeling, and it creates dissociation. Now, there is something called DID, which is dissociative identity disorder, I believe. Now I'm thinking wrong about that, but it's along those lines where when you start them at a very young age abusing them, their mind starts to fracture, and you have different different thoughts that go through your mind, and you create different parts. And there's a book called No Bad Parts that you can go look up to learn a little bit about that. I think we're all one individual, and so we need to really, and that's what he talks about, is integrating those parts into one. It's kind of like the schizophrenic a little bit. It seems that it's pushing that kind of agenda a little bit. I don't know. I'm still kind of on the fence with the whole parts thing, but I am trying to hold space for my younger self and listen to her more and just be more compassionate of my older self, because I'm still kind of stuck in those childlike processes. And that's literally the underlying tone for the Mormon church, is to keep you at a very small level. You be quiet and timid, and you use your Relief Society voice, and you're just so kind and patient, and there's always this whispering kind of noise that goes with it that keeps you, like, general conferences coming up next week, and it's a hard time listening to any of these guys talk. Like, I have to watch it later on 2-speed or something, because it's brutal for me. But it's their favorite thing to do, is to put the shame on the victim. If you have no shame, it's probable that you have disassociated. So some people will create altars in their mind of, I'm being this person. Like, for example, Beyonce talks about her alter ego, Sasha Fierce, who goes on stage for her. That is a dissociation, and she probably doesn't even realize it. Or, it's just cute. It's just her fun little alter ego. Or it's disassociation. It could be either way. It's where you're disassociating from who you really are in order to be somebody else and protect your mind and your body from what's happening. And so there's a lot of people right now who are apologists for the LDS Church who are trying to discount the SRA that goes on. And they're saying there is no proof and there's no way that this could have happened, when that's part of the issue. They make it so that there is no proof. and they make it so that the victim is at fault. They shame the victim. And so anytime an apologist goes out and says all of these things, they don't understand that they are shaming the victim even more. And it's just so gross. It just needs to stop. Symptoms like anxiety are blamed on the victim, and it's the victim's fault that they're anxious. Well, no, it's the abuser's fault for making them anxious, for abusing them. There are so many types of abuse here, people. And the shame transfer is just one of so many layers that you can get into. There's so many aspects that hit the victim, and a lot of times later in life, which is part of this problem, is that we have statute of limitations where you only have so much time to go in and really convict somebody for hurting them. And then again, the proof, that's a lot of times there is no physical evidence, and so these people get to walk free. And then you just deal with broken systems, and right now we are dealing with a broken society, in my eyes, in my opinion. There is something called SRA, systemic ritual abuse is what some people have heard it called, but more importantly, satanic ritual abuse. People are saying that it's the satanic panic, but like back in the 90s, and it's not real. Well, we have the Mockingjay media or Mockingbird media, where they can tell us whatever they want. They lie to us all that they want, and they work on behalf of the billionaire and the millionaires that are hoarding all the money. So, I mean, just like the church, they have their own arm just for media. Why is that? So they can cover up abuse. If you don't believe that's a real thing, there is so much information out there about their hotline that they use, but it's not for victims. It's for the bishops to call when they get a report. But there's also a website called floodlit.org where they have over 4,000 cases right now against people that have been convicted of some type of abuse from the LDS Church and with the Boy Scouts. So it's a problem. Shame is illusion. It is fake chains. And when you identify it, you really start to heal from it. When you can say, okay, I should not be ashamed of this. This was not my fault. No matter what situation you were in, no matter the age you were in, no matter what anybody told you, if you were abused, it is not your fault and you did not deserve it. So you can get that out of your head right now. That's step one. Really tell yourself and believe it to make those changes, to get those chains off of you. Bringing it to light is the only way to really break the darkness. There's shame for coming out, but there's also shame for not coming out. And that is internal programming that the abusers put on the victim. And it's all by design. Again, they've been learning this for generations. They've been doing this for generations. It is not new. Nothing new under the sun, y'all. Like, this has been going on for longer than we can even think of. Back in the, I was taught that the earth is only 6,000 years old, but I have a feeling it's a little bit older than that, and they're wrong. But now they would say, it changes all the time. I don't know what they say on everything anymore. But that's what I was taught. 6,000 years old. Well, it would have been going on for at least 6,000 years, this type of abuse. And to believe that it's not real, especially for those who really believe in God, to believe that there's not something on the other side of that really working hard to infiltrate and get their chains on you is just baffling to me. It is a network of people that have done this, and it's in our media, it's in our sports. The MK Ultra is a big deal. If you don't know about that, the CIA has done work on us on MK is for mind control. And back when in the day when the people were kicked out of Germany for what they were doing, a lot of them came here and continued on and started other projects. And the CIA has covered it up and has been a mask, which is also, guess what? Very Mormon affiliated. or should I say LDS. For example, the UVU has a whole thing that they like to recruit. CIA likes to recruit for Mormonism. Most of the time, you follow the word of wisdom, so you don't drink, you don't smoke, you take care of yourself. Your liability is going to be a lot less in that case. And so you're also able to hold those secrets. Keep that secret. It's sacred. I'm sorry, it's not a secret. It's sacred. That's what I was always told growing up. You can't know what happens in the temple because it's sacred. Line upon line, precept upon precept. You can't know until it's your time. And then you have to promise not to ever talk about it. That is not informed consent, and that is abuse. Flat, plain, simple, period. And it goes back to culture. How do you spell culture? With cult. There are mind controls baked into so many levels of our society. It is insane. There is a podcast called the Imagination Podcast where a girl named Emma does a lot of interviews with survivors, and Kathy O'Brien has been a whistleblower for this for a while, and she's got some amazing books. Time to Heal is one of them. The Transformation of America is another one. And that's TRANCE, Formation of America, by Kathy O'Brien. And she's a survivor, and she and her daughter were, born into the system and have gotten out. Took her a while to get her daughter out, but thank God, she's happy and healthy, and she doesn't speak about it as much as Kathy does. I think she stays behind the scenes and just works on her healing. And if you've been through any type of abuse, that's perfectly fine if that's what you want to do. But Kathy talks about it a lot, and she has some really great work out there. The National Security Act is a problem. Along with the CIA, they keep all these things secret. And so we need to repeal these things. It is legal to abuse humans and to push all of these agendas on us, all these secret agendas. It's disgusting. But when you accept the shame from the person who abused you, that transfers back to the one accepting it. So give it back to them. Stand in front of the mirror, light a candle, and say, I am burning this shame. It's no longer mine. I am giving it back to you. You don't ever have to talk to that person. Just tell them through the mirror if you want to, or over a fire or over some water, and then speak it into the water and dump it out on the ground. There are lots of little things, lots of little rituals that you can do to really bring that physical aspect to help you mentally remember that and get out of those shame cycles or spirals that you can get into. It's very easy. These abusers they're not dumb, but we're not either. And we can get through this, and we can get better and help people heal, help others heal by sharing our stories of how we did it. We will never change the abuser, but if we change ourselves and how we act to it, that makes all the difference in the world. And see it for what it is. Just say, I see it for what it is. I was abused. I was told it was my fault, but it's not. It's not. There's the MK stuff is so deep, and I don't think I want to go that deep into it today because there's a lot of information out there. Basically, it was a system that they're saying was only from about 1953 to 1963, although there could be some people that argue that it's never gone away. And that is probably true from the things that I have learned. But of course, documents won't be released for another 50 years, though. That's when they finally start to declassify stuff, is when it's down the memory hole and people haven't lived it, so they don't know. Like, we're just continually traumatized and we don't talk about it. And so I feel like some of that is even shame. Like, we're shamed into not caring enough, but we're thrown so much crap all the time. There's no way that we can keep up on all of this. We're just inundated, and that is by design to make us so overwhelmed, to make us feel like we can't do anything about it. It is not left versus right. It is not black or white. It is human against monsters. And we need to stop these monsters from what they're doing. And part of that is giving that shame back to them. So that would be my suggestion to anybody watching. Go inside of yourself, figure out how to do that. If you need some help, there are some great tools out there. You can find people who really do some great work. Empowered Spirit Healing is my friend Paula, and she does some great work. She's really helped me get out of some of these cycles with her recordings that she does. And then, of course, there's Bryce with Esoteric Atlanta. They have a program together called the Fusion Body Studio, and the link to that is going to be up in my main header on my page. So you can go there to find where they're at. They put out amazing exercise videos to help get your body back in shape, which helps get your mind back in a right place also. So if in order to change things, you have to change it. And if nothing changes, nothing changes. So unless you want to just live in that cycle, you're going to continue to do that unless you change your trajectory. So I will be showing some of the exercises that I also learned outside of that. There's another program called Heal with Tracy that helps people with hypermobility really get a grip on how to work your muscles better so that your joints don't go out of place, because that's super painful and not fun. So in closing, I just want everybody to remember that if you don't like everybody, that's okay. You don't have to like everybody. You don't even like everybody. So just remember that. And if somebody doesn't like you, then that's their problem. Let them have it. That's not on you. What other people think does not matter. It does. What other people think of you is not your problem. They can think whatever they want. That is on them. Just like I could say that, I'll leave that one alone right now, but I hope everybody has the day that they deserve. I learned that from the beautiful woman, I can't think of her name right now, but generally unquotable. She has a great channel where she talks about just basic Mormon stuff that goes on, and really, everybody, hope you have the day you deserve. I love it. It's great. Just always know that you are your own king or queen of yourself. Just like I'm Queen Lorraine, I am queen of me. Be the queen of you, be the king of you, and really own your power. Take it back. If anybody took that from you, you have the power to take that back. And that is the beauty of healing, is really getting your power back. So it is my joy and pleasure to live another long-lasting, wonderful day. I hope it is for you as well. And if it's not, then just say that to yourself, especially when it's the worst. Just keep telling yourself, it is my joy and pleasure, and I promise things get better. Another one I really like to say is, money flows to me freely and effortlessly. So that's another good one if you're, just think about that every day and see how things change. Again, it is my joy and pleasure to live another long-lasting, wonderful day, and I hope it is for you also.